everybody, I just want to say before the start of this video, I just want to say on the intro you will see my new YouTube channel name. Tim W. Leathertouchy 1996 is gone. I have changed my channel name to something shorter and better, which if you put in Tim W. on the YouTube search you'll easily find me. Anyways, I just want to apologize for when I upload Godzilla effects every Tuesday. Every episode of Godzilla Effects was already pre-made, so you're gonna hear Leathertouchy 1996 throughout all of that. I am very sorry about that, so just wanted to tell all y'all. Well, hello everybody, Tim W. Reigo here. Games, movies, vlogs, how the hell are you? Now, for today's video, I will be doing a new effects review. Now, you guys all know of the Godzilla effects that I do every Tuesday. So, yeah, and like I said at the very start of this video, my old channel name, Leathertouchy 1996, is still on the Godzilla effects, because all of those videos were already pre-made before I changed my channel name, so yeah, sorry about that. But for today's video, I'm gonna be reviewing these two movies. Well, I'll be mainly doing the special effects, treating this like Godzilla effects here. Sorry about that. Anyways, look at these covers. I mean, these two covers, if you look at them, don't they look like look at the font. It's like they're trying to rip off Godzilla King of the Monsters. I mean, look at this. Just the font alone. Like, wow. Like, when I first saw these, it's like, wow. It's like, what, are they like trying to rip... They're trying to like rip Godzilla King of the Monsters off. But overall, like, I've seen this one twice, so today will be my third time watching it. And then I've never seen this movie before, so... Apparently, these two are in the same universe. Like, I call this the Sea Monster universe because both of these things, Reigo and Reiga, they're both sea monsters. So, yeah. That's why like I said, I call it the Sea Monster universe. So, yeah. So I'm going to be watching both of these movies back to back, and I'm going to be doing effects reviews for both of them in just one video. I don't know why, like, I've seen people do I've seen people do movie reviews of them separately, but from the infamy and the way these movies are played out, from what I've gathered, it won't seem right to me if I do both these movies separately, so I'm gonna do them both in one video. Alright? So, let's watch both of them and talk about the effects. Especially this movie, holy crap. Jesus Christ. Alright. Well, hey everybody, well here we have our first movie in this effects review with Reigo, King of the Sea Monsters. Now, to start off, this was my first time watching this movie, and I actually really enjoyed this. Like, no joke. I actually really enjoyed this movie. Now, like I said in the introduction to this, look at this. Look, this is the DVD cover, but oh man, sorry that went by quick. It looks like it was trying to rip off Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, to start off this effects review, first thing I'm going to talk about is the special effects themselves, like as a whole here. This movie, you can tell that the guy that directed this, or the studio that made this, The budget was very... It's like the equivalent to if the Asylum was in Japan. Again with the damn burping. Jesus Christ. I am so sorry about that, folks. Again with this burping. I am really sorry about that. You know, the special effect... Yeah, anyways, as I was saying, yeah, the effects in this movie are like if the Asylum had a branch in Japan, because there's a lot of the effects in this movie that they clearly show what they are. Like, when it comes to... Sorry, I almost burped again. When it comes to Japanese monster movies, they usually hide that. They usually hide the fact on what some of the effects are in their films. It's usually hard to tell, but with this movie, it's like you can tell what it was. Like, there's a couple of shots of Reigo, the mother Reigo, swimming in front of a green screen, and it was a puppet, and then the CGI in this movie, oh man, as much as I really enjoyed watching this, the CG, oh man, the CGI, it was very hit or miss. Like, it was just, it looked kind of like video game CGI, actually. Well, here's a classic example of it. Look at the ship, the Yamato in the bottom left corner there. Seriously, the CGI for the Yamato and the ship fleet that was like their escort or whatever, the CGI for that, it looked like the Asylum has better CGI than this. Truly. The Asylum CGI, even from, say, Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus, has better CGI than this movie. I don't know, and there's even a couple of shots. I mean, this shot here, where Mama Reigo jumps out of the water with the electricity, you know, shooting into her dorsal fin. That's good. The CGI for that is good. Like, it's mainly the ships in the water is where the CGI really falls. I'm sorry, it just looks so obvious. Like, there's one shot that, I'm sorry I couldn't get a screenshot for this, but there's one shot where Mama Reigo's dorsal fin is sticking out of the water, and the way the water moves as it's as she swims around the ships, it just looks, and even the couple shots of the water around the ships as well, it looks like it's lagging. Like, when they were rendering the CG or trying to, it was either not rendering right or it was lagging. It looks like video game CG, like PS1 or maybe PS2 CGI, because the way the water looks, I'm sorry, it just looks really odd. Now I will admit that there are actually some shots where the Yamato actually looks decent, CG wise, such as this shot right here. Now there are some shots where, like I said, the CG actually looks decent for a low budget Japanese monster film. But yeah, most of the time the CGI for the water and the battleships, it just looks so video game-ish. And the monsters in this movie, yes, there's more than one monster in this movie actually, are they're the only good piece of effects work in this movie. Like, they talk about, the first monsters, well, in this long effects review with this movie and Reigo, there's multiple monsters in this movie despite their movie titles. Like, here in Reigo, you have Mama Reigo, which is the big one right here, that with her tail knocks over the top half of the ship here. And then you have Baby Reigo, and then you have this swarm of other creatures that they call the bonefish. The movie does not give a rhyme or reason why they're called that, but They're called bonefish. So technically, so far in the sea monster universe, there's 3 monsters, and the bonefish, I sadly could not get a screenshot of them, but they were all puppets. They were either all puppets or they were all CGI. Like, design-wise, they looked really interesting. They looked really original. They were covered in... I don't know, you'd have to watch the movie and see for yourself how these things look. The design, they just look really freaky. They kind of look like demon fish a little bit. And then you have the Reigos. Now, I love the design of these monsters, of the Reigos, because they're like a dragon mixed with a shark. As you saw in the screenshot before this, you can see a lot of shark influences, like the dorsal fin and the 2 fins, flippers or whatever, and the end of the tail. Like, it's like a dragon shark. It looks like a dragon shark, and they even call the Reigos dragons throughout the whole movie. So it's like, okay. And the whole thing about this, it's a little, it's like a little bit cliche, I guess. It's like the Yamato shoots a baby Reigo, and then Mama Reigo gets pissed and then goes after the Yamato the whole rest of the movie. So, kind of very reminiscent of Gorgo a little bit, except in the only difference is with Gorgo, the baby monster lived, and it took place on land for that. So yeah, this is like a very aquatic, darker version of Gorgo, really, and it takes place during World War II. So yeah, I mean, the puppets that they had for the Reigos were amazing. I love the animatronics that they had for these monsters. It looks really, really good. It truly looks really good. I love it. It's very detailed. The CGI models they had, the puppets were better. I mean, the CGI models had a lot of... They too had a lot of detailing to them, but the animatronics work a lot better than the CG. So is like I said, this is like an asylum, like Japanese asylum movie in a way. So yeah, Reigo, King of the Sea Monsters. Like, my final thoughts on this movie, it's really enjoyable. I mean, it does have a lot of funny scenes in this movie. There's a lot of funny scenes, but I'm mainly focusing on the special effects here. Sorry to get off topic for a couple seconds. My final thoughts on the special effects of Reigo, King of the Sea Monsters. I did enjoy the movie. The CGI was just, oh my god, it could have been so much better for a Japanese movie, for a Japanese monster movie. CG, yeah, could have been way better. The monster designs, the bonefish and baby Reigo and Mama Reigo, they are awesome. I love the design of this creature, of the monsters in this movie, sorry. Love the monster designs. So yeah, and I hope this movie gets a 2. I really hope that they make another Reigo movie, like probably takes place in modern day or whatever, since this movie takes place in World War II. And the slogan, how it says like kaiju fans will love this movie, and on the back of the DVD cover it says, an ambitious project from a fan of the genre. Now the director clearly is a fan of movies like Godzilla and Gamera. Clearly it shows. Like, the movie does take itself very seriously despite the funny scenes. And effects-wise, yeah, it's super low budget, for Japanese yen. So, yeah. Now, like I said, I really did enjoy this movie despite the heavy amount of flaws that the special effects have. So, yeah, I'm going to give this movie a solid... I'm giving this movie a good 6.5. Yeah, this movie is getting a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Yeah, final score, 6.5 out of 10 for Reigo, King of the Sea Monsters. Alright, so now on to the next chapter, Reigo, God of the Monsters. Okay, well, here we go to the second chapter in the Sea Monster universe with Reigo, God of the Monsters. Oh my god. God of the monsters, more like God of, I don't know what to say about this movie. I mean, the effects in this movie were like, wow. The fact that this movie takes place in the same universe as Reigo, King of the Sea Monsters, you would think that the movie would take itself serious, but the effects clearly show that it doesn't. Like, wow, holy shit, wow. Well, okay, here we go. Okay, this is at literally the very start of this movie. This is at literally the movie starts with Reigo. Like, you literally see him, and I think the first, 2 minutes, like maybe the first minute and a half or 2 minutes of the movie, and this here, you can so tell that they filmed Reigo in front of a green screen and then overlapped CGI water over him to make him look like it's underwater. Now, one thing I will say is here, this is the third species of monster in the Sea Monster universe is Reigo. First we had, in the last movie, we had the Reigos and the bonefish. Now we have Reigo, so this is the third species of monster in the Sea Monster universe here. And there's even a fourth species. Well, here we go. This is the bonefish. Now, the bonefish actually return in this movie too. I love that, and they actually are given a lot more to do other than swim around. Like, they literally jump out of the water and eat people. Now, how this scientist got a specimen of this thing is beyond me. Like, it's never shown how this scientist got a specimen of this bonefish. Like, seriously, that's never shown. But here you can see the design of the bonefish that I couldn't tell you, that I couldn't explain in Reigo, in the review for Reigo here. So yeah, look at the design. I love the design, but the execution, effects-wise, it just like, oh my god, you can tell it's a puppet. Oh my god, you can tell that these monsters were puppets. Like, seriously, I mean, they do have CG for them, and even that looks really obvious. But yeah, mainly they use these puppet shots. And here is Reigo. Now, actually, 2 screenshots before this, like I was saying, the shot at the very beginning of the movie, there's the fourth species of monster in the Sea Monster universe. There's a giant bonefish that's the size of Reigo that Reigo fights at the very start of the movie and literally snaps it in half. So, yeah, there's a giant bonefish portrayed by a giant puppet. So, yeah. And it looked just like the bonefish at the screenshot before this one. Now, one thing I will say about Reigo, the special effects for him, I love the design of this monster. It is so well detailed. The roar sounds amazing. Everything about Reigo's design, I love it. Like I said, this is my third time watching this movie, this one in particular here, and I love the monster all the more. Like, seriously, it's a very original design. Like, seriously, I love the originality of the Sea Monster universe with the designs of their monsters. Like, you have the bonefish. You'd have to watch the movie to see how to really describe that thing. Like, the best way I can describe it, they look like armored mosasaurs. Armored mosasaurs, but they're fish, though. And then you have the Reigos that just look like, that are dragon sharks with heavy scaling on them. And then you got the giant bonefish, which just looks like a regular bonefish except Reigo size. And then you have Reigo here, and he's super cool. I've heard I read somewhere that somebody said that, oh, this thing looks like Godzilla. It doesn't even look close to Godzilla. Seriously, look at his hands. like his hands with the really pronounced long claws and the very dinosaur crocodile-ish kind of snout, the different skin textures, and the heavy protrusions he has sticking out of his back. I just really love this design. This monster design is super cool. And now not okay. Well, I've said all I can really say about the monster designs themselves. Like, really obvious puppets for the bonefish that could have been done a lot better. And with Reigo himself, or themselves, because there's two of them in this movie, but I'll get to that later. Reigo itself, everything about it's perfect. It's perfect design wise and execution wise. It's perfect. Like, seriously, it's everything. It's so perfect with the monster itself, with the way it moves and its design. Now, when it comes to the other special effects, now this movie, I love, like I said, the director for Reigo. When I said the director he's a clear fan of Japanese monster movies. Like, he is a clear fan of Toho and Daiei. So it's like you have Reigo stomping through miniature buildings. Like, that's evidenced by all the screenshots of this creature here. That's very evidenced by that. But the CGI, once again, just like Reigo, the CG could have... Oh my god, like, this movie plays off more like a comedy. Like a less serious version of Colossal. Even though Colossal came out after this movie. But yeah, the thing with Reigo and Reigo, apparently they have this thing where I guess they're bioelectrical. I guess they can use electricity as weapons or whatever. It's really odd. That's not given a rhyme or reason either in both of these movies. Oh, I love this funny shot right here. See, this is a really good shot where you can tell that was green screen, but it plays off so awesomely. Like, seriously, it plays off so well. And one thing I do got to mention, I know this is an special effects review, but one thing I do got to mention is the three main characters are the three guys there on the bottom left there, and these two American guys run up behind him and say, in Japanese actually, you got American speaking Japanese in this movie for like a brief scene. And they say, like, it's Godzilla! And then the three main characters like, no, it's not Godzilla. Like, they corrected him, which is hilarious. It's a really funny scene. It's like a really funny little scene. And this is where the special effects are very lacking in this movie. Like, I kind of feel sorry for the director a little bit. He should have had a higher budget than this. This shot here clearly states... This movie should have been made for YouTube. This should have been a made for YouTube movie, because all the buildings getting destroyed are all CGI. Like, Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark looking CGI, actually, when the buildings get destroyed. And seriously, all this fire and everything could have... Literally, the bridge, was this even a miniature set, or was all of this green screened? Like, seriously, or was all that green screen? Like, okay, here is where the effects are. Here's a good shot of the effect. Well, actually, before I even talk about this, let me talk about the other one. Like, seriously, I wish the director had a higher budget for this movie. Because this movie feels more like a fan film made for YouTube movie. That's what this entire movie feels like. But here you have a good effect shot where you have, very reminiscent of Godzilla, where you have miniature tanks in the foreground with Reigo in the background there, you know, in between the miniature buildings. Like, it looks very reminiscent of, say, of a lot of the Godzilla films. So yeah, like I said, there's a few shots where the effects actually look good, but most of the time, about 80% of the time, it's like fan-made, made-for-YouTube special effects. Seriously, I so wish the director would have had a higher budget. And here's a really good shot of Reigo right here. Now, one effects thing oh my god, there's one piece of effects work that I gotta talk so heavily on here, is the jets in this movie. When the military uses F-16s to shoot at Reigo, the CGI is so, oh my god. It looks like the CGI for the Yamato. It looks like PS1 CGI. And then they don't even, there's missiles clearly attached to the wings of these jets, but then you see CGI missiles appear out of nowhere and shoot at Reigo. Like, where did those missiles come from? Like, clearly there's two missiles attached to the wings. Why can't they use them? No, they animated in these really obvious CGI missiles that just appear out of nowhere that shoot at Reigo. It's like, oh my god. And yes, there are two Reigos in this movie. It's like the one on the cover is the first Reigo, and then at the end of the movie another one shows up and gets in a territorial battle or something like that, and then ends up marking its territory and lifts its tail up and pisses on some buildings. It's like, why would they put that in there? Like, I know that's how animals mark their territory, but Jesus Christ. Oh my god. So yeah, this movie's just heavily flawed special effects wise. Like, the monster designs I really love, but the execution for Reigo is like the only good piece of effects work in this movie. Everything else, like I said a bunch of times, is just fan-made, made for YouTube effects. So with this movie, 5 out of 10. This movie gets a 5 out of 10 for me, effects-wise. What? Oh. No. Japan ain't serious. Are they serious? Are they being serious right now? Seriously, are they being serious? Getting a sequel. This movie is getting a sequel. Wow. I don't know what to say. I mean, the movie did leave it open for a 2. Technically, the ending did leave it open for a 2, but holy shit. No, seriously, this is like a big holy shit. Like, really? This is getting a 2? Damn. Wow. Well, everybody, I hope you really enjoyed that effects review for Reigo, God of the Monsters, and its prequel, Reigo, King of the Sea Monsters. Now, the fact that Reigo, God of the Monsters, is getting that sequel, God Reigo versus Oga, Lava King Oga, apparently, is the full Japanese title. I can't wait until the movie hits American shores so I can buy it on DVD, and I will most likely do an effects review for that movie. And if you have not seen the trailer, I will post a link to the trailer in the description below here. The effects in the trailer look about the same as Reigo, God of the Monsters, for anybody who's seen it. So yeah, I can't wait till I actually till I actually see it. So yeah, again, I hope you guys really enjoyed that. This is Tim W. Reigo, and I'm gonna say peace out, everybody, and see you all in the next video.